What is going on, everyone? And in this video, I'll be giving you my UFC Vegas main and co-main event prediction for the upcoming event, UFC Vegas 40, this Saturday, October 16th. And it should be an okay event on paper. Maybe it's a banger in real life when it happens. The casuals are going to miss out on things like this, just like last week. But I do hope it is a pretty solid event. I think there's going to be some knockouts and stuff. And obviously, you never know with Andre Arlovski and Carlos Felipe what's going to happen there. And then in the main event, it might be the most boringest thing we've ever seen. Or we might see a good back and forth. I don't know. But either way, let's get into the main event of the evening. So in the main event of the evening, we have Aspen Ladd taking on Norma Dumont. Ladd's coming in with a 9-1 record, minus 135. 84% of the people have picked her. For Norma Dumont, 6-1, plus 115. 16% of the people have picked her. And in this main event, it's a weird main event for me because Aspen Ladd has been having some weight troubles. We saw her look like she was dying. She probably was. She probably was dying on the scales, right, when she missed weight. And this is just gonna be a weird fight because it's a woman's featherweight. But then at the same time, it's a change of opponent. Norma Dumont, I believe she was taking on Holly Holm. So she's been preparing for an elite level striker, a veteran in the game, and then also someone who can arguably, if she wanted to, go for the takedowns and stuff like that. So she was preparing to fight a well-rounded fighter in the women's featherweight division. For Aspen Ladd, I don't know what's going on over there, but she was killing herself to make that kind of weight, and we don't know how she's going to look in this fight because you don't know what that does to you, right? Killing yourself like that to get down to that weight. And, granted, she still has to probably cut some weight. So it's like, you don't know how her body's going to be. You don't know how her training's been. You don't know how her camp's been. You don't know if she's really been not able to train because she's been focused too much on the weight. So it's a wide variety of problems that could ensue in this certain situation. And for Aspen Ladd, I don't know what's going to happen, but I just can't take her on this one. Ladd, her striking, I don't think is as good as Norma Dumont. Ladd is probably used to being a little bit bigger of a opponent, but I think for Norma Dumont, she's going to be the bigger opponent. She's going to be harder hitting than Aspen Ladd. Ladd's striking, I think, is more of something that she uses to close the distance, to get into that clinch, push you against the fence, try to find a takedown of some sort, and then go for a submission or ground and pound, whatever it may be. But she has to get it there, and it's really not, her striking is very awkward in my opinion. It's kind of like she holds her hands really tight to her body, but it's not fluid, right? Where I'm not saying Norma Dumont's striking is fluid or anything like that, but I do think it's gonna look a lot better than Ladd's. And when you look at Dumont's striking, I mean, I think she could throw some hands too, right? Granted, she lost against Anderson. She got knocked out, whatever it may be. But I think she's learned, and, even if you look in her last fight, I think she was able to show in her last fight that she can definitely hang in there. She's not someone to just look at and think oh, they're going to get starched or something like that. So in her last fight, she beat Felicia Spencer, won that fight by split decision. Now, I don't think if the last round happened where I don't know why, she tried to go for some sort of throw, I believe it was, and then she got taken down. That wasn't a smart move. She beat Ashley Evans Smith unanimously. So again, I think Dumont, she's going to have to get it into her face. She's going to have to tag up Ladd, and she's going to have to try to, maybe she's able to finish her. But I just think Dumont it'll be another 5-round fight where the longer the fight goes, Dumont's probably going to win this fight. The longer the fight goes, the Ladd's probably not going to be able to do much. Dumont's obviously been preparing for this. So I just think if you're preparing for someone like Holly Holm, you got to be ready to beat Aspen Ladd. So with that being said, I just think Dumont's going to be able to do more. I think she's going to show, I wasn't killing myself to make weight or anything like that. I'm out here to win this fight. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. Main event, let's get it. So I'm going to go Norma Dumont to defeat Aspen Ladd. Too many questions for Ladd. Bye. I'm going to take Dumont by a decision. And move on into the co-main event of the evening. And man, every time we have these kind of fights in the co-main event, Andre Arlovski, 31-20. The veteran, minus 105. 29% of the people have taken Andre Arlovski. And we taking on Carlos Felipe, 11-1, minus 115. 71% of the people are taking Carlos Felipe. But either way, it's pretty much a pick 'em. So with that, man, every time you have one of these fights with Arlovski, it's like you just don't know what you're going to get, right? Because, I mean, we know what Arlovski's going to try to do, right? I mean, this dude's fought everyone. He's the gatekeeper. He's fighting top-level competition back in the day. He's fought the old school veterans, the legends of the game in the heavyweight division. In his last fight, he defeated Chase Sherman. I wouldn't say it was too impressive, but he did what he needed to do to win a decision. It's almost like this dude gets finished, or he wins like via a decision. Like he either gets finished now or he loses via getting knocked out or submission or just getting beaten. Against Chase Sherman, I wouldn't say he looked great, but he was like classic Andrei Arlovski. He threw in some leg kicks. He beat him with the jab. He went to the body. He just did what he needed to do to win. Against Tom Aspinall, obviously Aspinall, we've seen what he's able to do after this fight. He just kind of rocked him, took him down, and then submitted him. Like pretty straightforward there. He hurt him, finished him. Arlovski beat Tanner Bosner, Felipe Lins. I mean, he's definitely capable of beating someone like Carlos Felipe if Felipe goes out there and doesn't really... If he just kind of sits back and is a little bit too careful, or he's just swinging for the fences and that's all he's really able to do. Yeah, if Andrei Arlovski, if he doesn't get caught, that is, he can definitely win this fight via decision, leg kicks, bodies, go to the body, piece him up with jabs and stuff like that. So I really don't know what's going to happen here. But I'm more inclined to just take Carlos Felipe, because when you look at Carlos Felipe, you're like, okay, just another big dude. You know, he's just a heavyweight. But he has pretty solid cardio. I mean, again, it's not like he's, it's not like he's not tired, but he's definitely one of these guys where you could probably count on him to be a little bit more aggressive than most and go forward and not give Arlovski the respect. And even in that fight that he, against Jake Collier, he kind of let Jake Collier come back in that fight. I think he could have finished that fight. I think he could have gone in his face and really pieced him up. But he kind of just started sitting back a little bit too much, taunting. Let's not do that in this fight. Let's go forward. Be aggressive. You know when you need to touch this dude. You need to just touch this dude like a couple times, and Arlovski's going to go to sleep. Don't let the leg kicks, don't just sit back and get pieced up by this dude who's literally just in there as a gatekeeper, man. A gatekeeper. Now, he's a legend, like, obviously no disrespect, but he is a gatekeeper for this division. Like, you got to go through Arlovski to start fighting other guys, right? So, Felipe, he landed some really nasty 1-2s on Collier, man, and I just think if he lands some strikes like that on Arlovski, I just think Arlovski's going to sleep. So my bet would be, you got to get Felipe in there. He's got to get in there early. Try to land those 1-2s, man. Just land some bombs on Arlovski. Be aggressive. Don't play around. Don't be like, like, don't do all that stuff. Try to mix it up a little bit more than just going for a knockout. But I do think, man, if Felipe is able to touch him early on, I think Arlovski's going to sleep. I think Arlovski has to stay alive for 3 solid rounds. And against a guy like Felipe, that shit's going to be hard to do. So with that being said, I know Arlovski can get it done. And I think if Arlovski wins, it's going to be via decision. I don't think he can get this fight to the ground and pull off a submission. Maybe he can. But, man, the small octagon, Felipe is going to get in his face. So I'm going to go Carlos Felipe on this one. Shout out to the legend Andrei Arlovski. But I'm going to go Carlos Felipe to defeat Andrei Arlovski. I'll take it a win by KO TKO in round number 1. So that'll do, guys, for my UFC Vegas 40 main and co-main event prediction. Like I said, a solid card on, maybe not on paper, but hopefully it's a solid card and everyone goes out and enjoys this fight. And then I believe, we got some weird stuff coming up on the next weeks for the UFC. We got a pay-per-view card that I think free on ESPN Plus. Well, not free, I guess you could say, but a free, you don't have to pay the $70 to watch it in HD or something like that. So that'll be exciting, and it's a pretty solid card, man. It's a pretty solid card. Really looking forward to that, and we've got a little bit more fight nights coming up. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment down below. Tell me who you're picking. Leave your predictions down below. I'll feature, if they're right, in the next video. Let's see if we can get another back-to-back 9-0, 10-0, 12-0, whatever it may be. Perfect card. Probably not. Lightning never strikes twice in the same spot. Hopefully, though. Hopefully it does in this situation. So leave your comments down below. Subscribe if you want to. Like the video if you want to. And I'll see you guys in the next video.